Primoz Roglic on the attack on steep ramp. Santi crashing out of GC, whilst America has something to cheer for in this Paris-Nice. Stage 6, 200k's long stage from Sisteron to La Course-sur-Loup. It's got a 2k 10% climb that doesn't really level, like it levels off and then it kicks up again with some steeper sections. That's about 20k's from the finish though. And it's a big day for GC. We've got the amended mountaintop finish tomorrow. Could Plapp defend his yellow jersey? Could Remco put the others under pressure and take time? Cold conditions, 5 degrees, drizzle all day. It's been a cold Paris-Nice and it's not getting warm. They're not getting near the sun, really, despite the name of the race. Trek were in the break, though. Same with Pithy, Pedersen and Pithy in the breakaway, and Ineos were chasing it. So they were keen to set up Egan Bernal, obviously. He looks the best of their GC contenders. They had Turner pulling as well as others. So the breakaway is really not going to get away from strong rouleaus like that on the undulating terrain beforehand. So the breakaway managed, Bergerdo brought in, he was allowed to go for the bonus, the KOM sprint later, very generous. And then there's a split. On the descent, 55k's to go. That's not a full peloton we were seeing from the TV coverage. The problem is everybody's got a black rain jacket on or some sort of jacket like Plapp. You can see his yellow sleeves, but then he's got a black jacket, so could he be a Visma rider? But we do know that Decathlon missed it. Goal on another descent is split, and he's having to chase back before the important climb through the finish line, whilst all the other teams are pushing really hard to get their leaders into position. So that's what Pedersen was doing before that climb. Goal does come back, though, and now it gets really interesting and tactical. Catania for Quick-Step starts moving on the left-hand side, but Remco's on the radio right now, so Catania's presumably done that before Remco sent a message. Van Wilder's on the right. He just closed down a big acceleration from Finn Fisher-Black. Now watch Bora. Sobrero moves to the front really fast here. Hard acceleration as Catania pulls. Vlasov's behind McNulty. And that sequence or order of riders is very important because Vlasov loses, or a Bora rider loses the wheel of McNulty here, looks back and says, not my problem. While Sobrero's launching Roglic, McNulty's got himself fortunately on the wheel of the Bora pair. Draft's important there. And Skelmoser has to close. Jorgensen's in his wheel, and now it really kicks up. Turn left. Roglic goes really steep street here through some houses near Nice, and Evenepoel's on the back foot. He's having to close down Roglic. Santi's taking a jacket off. You've got Bernal still there. Skelmoser's sliding back. Goal looks okay. Plapp is actually managing pretty well after entering not in the best position into that climb. And Roglic, is he back? We're thinking, is he going to really ride away like on Fossombrone where he kind of cracked Evenepoel in the Giro last year? The answer was not today. This was more like the Vuelta 22. Santi collides across to Roglic's wheel, and Remco then closes it down himself gradually as well with Jorgensen in the wheel. So Santi looking really, really good on the steep gradients. He obviously won the stage 2 days ago. What's he going to do? Will he counter? Closes it down. McNulty's cracking. He's losing positions. Skelmoser's sliding badly. And I'm thinking one of these guys has got to go. Roglic is just attacked, been brought back. He's vulnerable. Remco looks back. The other GC guys are behind him. Plapp, the leader's behind him. McNulty, Almeida, they're ahead of him. They're behind him. He or someone has got to go. And there's a lull. Maybe they couldn't. Maybe Roglic kept the pace up here. I mean, they've still got guys ahead of them on GC who they've got off the back. And in the sort of hesitation, in the regroupment here, when Skelmoser brings it back, Jorgensen picks his moment. Plapp doesn't want to accelerate and close that down. And Evenepoel said after the race that he felt he could have closed Jorgensen down and he regrets not doing so. But a really astute move from Jorgensen, and Plapp looked really good. That's not McNulty or Almeida. That's Vine on his wheel. He was really strong today as well, Vine. And now again, Roglic was kind of gapped. Skelmers was kind of gapped. Another opportunity for Remco to go, but it's just a little bit too late. And then he just goes back to the front pacing. So he really got worked over, or worked himself over, rather, the way it worked out with the group dynamics today. McNulty, Skelmers, you see how the flat section, as it levels off through the KOM sprint, draft is really important. An undulating, tricky climb. And then even a tricky descent within the climb. Jorgensen just keeps it up right after tipping in too early. It's all splayed out behind, and then Santi pedals too quickly through that corner, and I think pedal strikes, slides out. That's his GC over. He looked just about at least top 5 strongest rider in the race. Maybe even could have won this race overall, but he loses 2 minutes plus today. And then it gets worse for Evenepoel and the other GC leaders in this group. Schelmoser attacks on a flatter section. McNulty follows him, and Vine, either instinctively or unknowingly, cuts off the back wheel of McNulty so no one can follow him, and he's gone up the road. So 2 other strong riders going across to Jorgensen and McNulty after UAE's brilliant team time trial. They're really well placed on GC. He's not lost much time in the previous stages except bonus seconds. And now there's 3 strong riders up the road. Everyone's probably going to pull full gas. There's even less riders to help Evenepoel behind except Roglic, who offers a couple of salutary turns. And this climb just about to finish. There's an 800 meter 7% pinch coming up. But then it's all downhill, and pedaling downhill from there, the trio immediately start collaborating. Bernal offers a pull. Here's that last pinch just before the intermediate sprint, which Jorgensen takes 6:42 bonus seconds to those 3. And I'm looking at this group, I'm like, Decathlon got 2 riders. Surely APP could pull, especially with Almeida behind. That could improve Gold's GC position. Vlasov's there, but it just takes a long time. And so whilst the gap was stable at 15 seconds for a while when Evenepoel and Roglic pulled on the climb, on the descent, it got out of control. The 2 Americans swapping off. Schelmoser pulling a little bit, but the other 2 did the most work. Jorgensen and McNulty, who know each other well, they're really, really effective on these sort of descents. And Jorgensen lives near the area. These are his training roads. 47 seconds with 11.5 Ks to go. GC was going up the road. Bear in mind that McNulty, he was ahead of Evenepoel in GC before the start of this stage, and he was sitting in the virtual GC lead right now. Schelmoser started to skip a few turns here and there. Plapp started pulling with Vlasov, so the gap did come down eventually. It peaked at over a minute, with Schelmoser really wanting to prioritize the stage when he lent on the others. McNulty led it out. Schelmoser goes. McNulty actually shifts as he starts to sprint. He does really well, in fact, to come back to Jorgensen's wheel and beat him, but Schelmoser wins the stage. Big win for him after a couple of near misses for Trek this week. Evenepoel leads out the sprint in the group behind and actually puts them on a second. So good legs today. But Paris-Nice is a tricky race. We've seen it for years with Roglic and Schachmann. Simon Yates in 2022. That's why it's such a good race. Schelmoser wins the stage ahead of McNulty and Jorgensen. 52-second gap to the Evenepoel group. But McNulty goes into the GC lead. Can UAE defend that yellow jersey? He's now got such a big gap on his other teammates that really he is the priority leader. 23 seconds ahead of Jorgensen. Then Plapp in 30. Holds on well. 34 seconds. Schelmoser 54. Evenepoel 103. Tomorrow's stage, they amended it because of the snowy or rainy conditions. 15K, 5.5%. Shouldn't be big gaps, but Sunday, it's going to kick off there. Can't wait to watch it. Hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you then. Ciao.